Welcome back, Casper Warriors. Today I'm going to be trying out the French-Mikenas one more time. This is just a simple opening that you can play against the queen's pawn game. So the idea is to go knight c6. If white plays knight f3, I recommend you try what I'm calling the Mikenas gambit. Go pawn to e5. Point is, if d4, you go e4, you know the stuff already. I mean, in most cases, you are going to be winning your games very fast after sacrificing your bishop on h2. I mean, in the middle game. But this is not what this video is all about. Today, I just want to look at the typical Mikenas and the French-Mikenas. But before I continue, it is my birthday month. For God's sake, I'm turning 30 on June 20th. Who am I? This is cool, right? Anyway, to celebrate this fantastic milestone, I'm giving 30% off all my chess courses on Patreon, and that is from today to 30th June. So just use the code KaspaChess at checkout on Patreon. Links and codes are in the description and in the comments down below. Now, let's get into today's lesson. Number 1. If white plays pawn to d5, you want to play knight e5, and instead of pawn to e4, if they play pawn to f4, go knight g6. There's a recent game that I lost where they played f5. So the theory here is to go knight back to e5 and see the moves that most white players play. You'll see them playing moves like bishop f4, knight f3, pawn to e4, and knight c3 at times. But your response will always be the same: d6 followed by e6. For example, if bishop f4, you simply go d6. Because if they take, you want to take like this. I mean, the f-pawn is hanging somehow, if you think about it. And if they play pawn to e4, holding on to everything, now you go pawn to e6. Most of your opponents are going to be taking on e6, thinking you just want to capture on d1. But the idea is to give a check like this. And if they are not careful, they end up losing the rook on h1. Queen e2. Against humans, this works perfectly, but you still need to know what you are doing. The reason why queen takes h1 is a bit tricky in this specific line is because white has this move, e takes f7 check. So if pawn to g3 happens, just go queen takes e4, and after queen e2, exchange queens. In this position, you are just doing very well, and take back like that. A common move sequence that you're going to see is after bishop f4 and d6, white won't take. They'll first of all play something like knight f3 or pawn to e4, holding on to everything. And now, if you think about it, playing pawn to e6 is a little bit risky in this position. It's not just clear what you're up to. I mean, if you play e6, white is going to be very quick with their attack. So when you see this set up on the board, just think of fianchetto in your king side and castle shot. Start with g6. This puts immediate pressure on the f5 pawn. I mean, who knows? Maybe you're just going to take and take like that. So they will always do something about this. For example, knight f3, and now you go bishop g7. Simple stuff. Knight takes, d takes. You always want to take back with your d pawn. Bishop g3. If you want to be up a pawn, you can take and take back. That's okay. You also have an option to develop your knight to f6 or simply to h6. If bishop takes e5, again, you just want to take, and I mean, nothing will stop you from playing bishop g7 and knight f6. Again, if they take, you just want to take back with your h-pawn. Now you don't even need to rush with your castling short idea. Bishop b5 check, you always have bishop d7 challenging that. If queen d3, you can even play c6 if you want, or s6, b5. c6 is more matured. That if dc, you take back with your b-pawn. This looks shaky, but once again, there is nothing white can do according to Stockfish. Bishop h6, knight f6. If knight d2, you go knight f6. Castle long, bishop g4, and you're going to have a comfortable game. So that is to say, when there's too much tension on the center, think of playing pawn to g6 and just free up your position like that. Then later in the middle game, you may even consider playing c6 to open up the position. Now it is time for me to walk the talk. I mean, the French-Mikenas, what am I talking about? So knight c6, this is a 5+0 casual Blitz match. Great, we are going to see the Mikenas, you guys. So I want to sacrifice my knight. Let's see if that is going to happen. If pawn to f4, I'll just take on d5. Great, look at this, you guys. I feel so satisfied. Oh, this is the first time I'm seeing this move. Queen takes d5. A very rare move. I think nobody plays this. But I guess my opponent is a KaspaChess subscriber, so maybe they do watch my videos. Should I play knight g6? Oh, these. I think let me play knight g6. I've never seen this before. So whatever I'm doing, I'm just improvising. Bishop c4, I guess there's checkmate here, so let me stop that. In e7. If pawn to f5, I'm just going to play knight e5. So knight f3 now, attack the queen. Yeah, white is losing now. I guess I'm doing great. I should mention to say I'm playing against a 2202 rated player. I'm surprised they are taking long to make moves. This is the French-Mikenas at its best. Yeah, it was very simple to play that move. I mean, either ways I was going to win a free pawn. I guess my opponent doesn't want to exchange. Okay, so now I can just do this. I mean, that was very simple to calculate. Now bishop c5 check. If I want, I can give a check again. Knight f2, why not? Let me just play knight e4. Kinda rushed with that idea. If this was a queen, I was going to checkmate my opponent with that common smothered mate. I can still go knight f2 and put my knight there. Maybe I should start with d5. So this is just a little trick. If bishop takes, I'll just go in with that. Yeah, I can still go check. And bishop h3 check. Yeah, that's why my opponent took. So I'm now just up an exchange. That was the whole reason of giving up my pawn. Just bishop b6. So knight c3. I want to develop my light square bishop, but first let me do this. And then attack the c2 pawn. So I'm just up an exchange for nothing. I have two rooks, my opponent only has one. But this is not a clear win. I still need to work for my meal. How I wish chess was that simple. I like the way my opponent is taking their time to play, to make moves. So they are not just guessing or pre-moving. I guess you guys are learning something from these moves. This is how real people play. I guess it is time for me to win the dark squad bishop now. Or probably the knight. The only sensible move I can see in this position is knight f3, holding on to that knight. Maybe even knight b1, I don't know. Yeah, this is just game over. So this was a 5-minute casual blitz match, and I'll conclude with a 3-minute blitz match. My opponent chose knight b1, but it's time for me to chase this knight away. And I'm going to pin it on the next move. Take it, then play, I don't know, before taking, maybe I'll play bishop that. So pin the knight, then bishop e3, game over. Yeah, this is just game over. Right, so without wasting much of your time, let me challenge a random opponent on leeches. The next game will be a 3-minute blitz match. Alright, let's go. So what opening am I going to play? Let me play the French-Mikenas, you guys. I expect to see the move d4, yep. So I want to transpose this game back to the Mikenas defense. If my opponent plays pawn to d5, I'll be happy to go knight e5. Maybe I should wait. What if I just play pawn to d5? That would be too open. Let me go bishop b4 check. Why not? Knight c3. What I can take. I guess it's not much of a stretch to take, but d5 looks more matured. Then take back. So far, I love what I'm seeing on the board. f6. Let's play an open game. Now I can take. It's always good to oversimplify your games. Queen e2 can just advance that pawn. So queen e2 wasn't a good move. Maybe my opponent was supposed to take or should have taken on e5. But it's too late. There's no queen check. My knight is on e7. I can play pawn to g6. So bishop e3, again, this is not good. Just hanging stuff. I can play pawn to d5 if I want next. If I play pawn to d4, white will give me a check. Besides, the reason why d4 wasn't working was due to castle long. Let's do that. Attack the bishop. You know what? Let me just castle short. Why hesitating? Okay, now I have a clear winning plan. This is game over. So this is the French-Mikenas one more time. The French-Mikenas at its best. I can take, I guess. Then attack. Can I? Yeah, let me attack since I have bishop f5. Not too soon. You know what? Let me... Oh, wait. So, queen g5. The idea is to chip in with my rook. It looks like I'm attacking that pawn, but in reality, I just want to attack the queen. Now this pawn is free for grabs, but first let's give a check to also pave the way for my rook. If you think about it, I can do this if I want, walking with my knight and that, and I'm going to attack this queen indirectly. White should be very careful. Of course they have a check, do they? But I have that move. Let me do this. Can I? Either way, my thing is going to die, so let me do this. That queen is free. So the game is over. Yep, my opponent just resigned. Now, go and check out my new courses. It is my birthday month, for God's sake. I'm turning 30 on June 20th. Who am I? This is cool, right? Anyway, to celebrate this fantastic milestone, I'm giving 30% off all my chess courses on Patreon, and that is from today to 30th June. So just use the code KaspaChess at checkout on Patreon. Links and codes are in the description and in the comments down below.